Hi, Peter Rose.
Hi, Theresa Goble.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
We're very lucky, or I'm very lucky, because at the minute I'm backstage in the staff cantina at Bayreuth, having seen Peter last night in a production of Der Fliegende Holländer, which was very exciting. So Peter's kindly agreed to just chat to us for a bit. So Pete,
Yeah.
what does it mean as a singer to actually perform at Bayreuth?
It's, um, it's quite an honour for Wagner singers, or if you not that I consider myself particularly as a Wagner singer, but I do some Wagner. It's the one place, I think, on earth. I don't think there's another place where they just devote everything to Wagner as they do here. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to be corrected. But the fact that it's the Wagner festival, probably in much the same way as the Salzburg Festival is the Mozart Festival, although places like Glyndebourne they claim to that. So it's great to have been asked to do this and have the opportunity to sing anything but Fliegende Holländer in Bayreuth. It's a long festival, long rehearsal period, and it's kind of nice to be in the middle of the German countryside.
And so it's Bayreuth's reputation really precedes it everywhere around the world. So is the reality of being here after all the hype and what we know about it, does it live up to its reputation, would you say?
Well, yeah, I mean I've been doing the job. So of course, it's always a little nerve-wracking when you're coming somewhere for the first time. And I came 2 years ago for the first time at 16. But I've been doing the job so long that I don't tend. Of course, there's a bit of excitement and wonderment, I guess, but I don't get freaked out the way I used to. I've been doing it for so long. I try at least to keep calm, at least give the appearance of keeping calm. But yeah, it's an enjoyable thing to have been asked to do and to have done, and it's the preeminent Wagner festival, which has been going on 150 odd years.
I have to say that until you get here and are actually in the theatre, one has no idea how amazing the acoustic is, and the orchestra sounds phenomenal because it's under the stage, the orchestra,
isn't it? You don't
even
see the orchestra.
No, you don't see the orchestra at all, but the sound is extraordinary, and especially the first few bars of Hollander, which is so exciting anyway.
Yeah, the overture.
It's absolutely brilliant. It's amazing.
It's the design, not only of the theatre, but of the way the pit works, where most pits, if I'm looking at the stage, which is there, you see the pit, and then you see the conductor. But this, you just see the stage, and there's a kind of undulating fold which hides the orchestra, but the sound comes up in a way that it doesn't overpower necessarily what's going on stage. But
fantastic.
It's kind of a delineation of the way the sound comes from the stage and also from the pit, so it's not kind of homogeneous noise, and it's not overpowering for the singers. I mean, of course it can be, but it's very cleverly, rather beautifully.
Well, that's interesting because unless you've been on stage, you wouldn't know that. Because Wagner has a certain reputation of being oversung, but Leonard Hancock, who was a great mentor to me, always said that if somebody seems to be struggling with Wagner, it's too big for them.
That's a very sensible comment. People think of Wagner as just a lot of screeching and yelling and being noises, but and of course there are moments where it's magnificent and it's huge, but there are lots of moments where you don't need to just power away take Parsifal, for example, Ornaments. There are moments where it's very lightly accompanied in the orchestra, just pizzicato strings. Of course, there are other moments where you get a whole load of brass, but the challenge is to just not think in terms of forcing over the sound. And in the quieter bits, you can sing it like you would sing perhaps a Schubert lied. You know, you just sing it very lyrically with a lot of legato. And I think the best Wagner singers is often very Italian.
Yeah, well, Leonard always said the bigger the repertoire, the more lyrically you sing it. What do you feel about the acoustic here then, compared with other acoustics? Having sung Wagner in various of the big houses around the world.
It is certainly one of the better acoustics.
Say compared with Covent Garden.
I would say one of the other great acoustics is possibly Dresden. It's a very the house there. The acoustic is magnificent, as is this house. Often with theatres, it depends on the set and it depends on all sorts of other factors. But it's so fulfilling and enjoyable in a way to be able to sing in a theatre where the acoustic is so helpful. That's a real joy, and it's not something that happens that frequently.
Well,
a lot of theatres, one has to kind of struggle, or at least there's a psychological element to struggle.
Well, I wanted to ask you, because you've been singing Darland here, and I know you've done Gurnemanns, I know you've done various Wagner roles, which I've seen. The portrayal of Darland in this context is very different, isn't it? Because Darland's often played as a very dark character.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of productions where he is a dark character, he almost kind of abusive at the same time. I've enjoyed those so much. This, he's kind of a businessman rather than a sea captain in the way it's
But it seems to me that you get more chance to sing it lyrically.
Yeah. I don't think the staging interferes with what is happening musically, so there's never a point where you're stuck up a tree or facing the wrong way. You know, it's very singer friendly. And I like the fact that he, you know, there's a comedy. I wouldn't use that term, but you know, there's a kind of lightness. And having been in a few productions where it's quite kind of depressing and Bergman-esque in one particular production, it's really nice to be able to do a production where it's a bit more kind of.
I must say I was very shocked at the first time I saw it, but having seen it again, I was able to view it with a different
new eyes.
Yeah. So, and I could see the sort of nuance of certain things which actually had escaped me before. So,
well, it can be a very dark. I mean, it is.
Yeah,
in many ways, it's a very dark piece. So, I think if there are elements of lightness, that just helps. I mean, contrast is always more interesting than something that's just kind of monochrome.
Well, it worked for Shakespeare.
You know, if the whole thing was just like, Edvard Munch, it's a little. And I have done productions like that where it's so depressing, you kind of shake yourself afterwards because the Darland, he was a bully, he was abusive, he was sadistic. It's not that those things aren't necessarily enjoyable to play sometimes. I just like the fact that this is such a contrast and can be a little more light-hearted or a little more comedy routine.
So on a sort of practical note, it's in excess of 30 degrees here.
Oh.
And you're in a big costume with a wig and etc. So how the hell have you coped with that?
It's difficult. I mean, as you saw, when it's dark, the lights are very powerful, the lights are very strong, and I'm stuck in this small rowing boat at the beginning with a a coat over me, and just 10 minutes during the Dutchman's monologue, while that's going on, it's very difficult not to sweat even when you're lying still. So that it's very hot.
Does that affect the voice?
I think so. I think if I'm too warm, sometimes it just feels like my voice tends to go up. I think when it's very hot.
Well, it's very clear from listening that the tonality or the tuning in Germany is sharp
It's higher,
compared with what we're used to
higher
here.
than A440, yeah.
Does that affect your voice, would you say, in terms of placement?
I think it does affect to the extent that I know where certain notes are in my mouth, and when they don't quite go there, I was wondering why. And I had a conversation yesterday and discovered that the pitch was slightly different, and that explains quite a lot. At least I know I'm not going mad.
So look, it's lovely to speak to you in this way. Thank you for letting me chat to you. Just a couple of other questions. What's your most favourite Wagner role, would you say, for you? And any particular performance that stands out?
I very much enjoyed singing dance, but I adore singing Kurmans as well, which I've done a few times, and I don't think nearly as many times as I've sung Garland, and also King Mark and Tristan, which I find quite a lot. Both of those are what I would say on the kind of more lyrical side of Wagner. There are moments where you really need to show that you have substantial reserves, but in the main, I would say that their Mark is a much more concentrated role. Kurmans is like Mark, I don't know, 5 times, 10 times.
So would you move into any of the bigger Wagner bass roles?
Well, Kurmans is probably one of the biggest, one of the longest bass roles, if you think of Wotan as sax as being bass baritone.
Okay. But they're often done by basses.
Yeah, they are. And there was a time once when I thought I might look at sax, but I'm not looking to learn anything new. I mean, I am doing some new stuff, but certainly nothing on that scale. It would take far too long for me to learn it and then to present it.
So any standout performances then of your
Well, it would be
Wagner?
Just trying to think. There are a number of things I've done, productions I've done, which I very much enjoy, but probably a bit invidious for me to mention them on film.
Oh, there must be one that you, with a wonderful conductor and a wonderful house, that you thought this is.
Yeah, but
You felt honoured to be in.
I'm not going to because I've done it with so many people. Then have to go through a whole list.
They'll be saying, "There's Peter Rose."
Exactly. If you
and he didn't mention me.
Exactly. I'll avoid it for that.
Okay. Reason. So what are you up to next then? What's your next?
I'm going to be back in Munich for a revival of House of the Dead, Torten House, which I did just before coming here. And then I have something completely different at the end of the year in Berlin, which I'm looking forward to. I'm doing with Simon Rattle, Rameau, Baroque.
Wonderful.
So that's quite a change from Wagner.
That takes you back to your sort of love, your earlier roots
I
of
used to like
Bach
doing.
and.
Well, yeah, it's even pre days Bach and Handel, but it's good for the voice to have the opportunity to do something so different, and I'm very.
So is that a new production?
It will be a new production. I know nothing about what the production is going to be.
But with Baroque orchestra, Baroque pitch.
It's with a Baroque orchestra. I don't know quite the exact pitch, but it will certainly be
down.
Certainly lower than here, and lower than A440,
Interesting.
which is kind of.
And then you mentioned to me that you've got a bit, sort of a special performance of VOX in Vienna.
Well, I did the last performance of Theresa Goble in Vienna last year, and there isn't a performance of Theresa Goble in 2018. The last one was the end of December last year, 17. And the next performance, which I will do in March of 19, will be the 1000th performance of the piece at the Wiener Staatsoper, so the Vienna State Opera.
Since it was composed.
Since it was first done there in the first half of the 20th century, the beginning of the 20th century, 1912? Should
Well,
check the exact date.
that's an honour to be.
It's especially
that's going to be a big deal, isn't it?
I'm not, I'm not a native German speaker. It's not my Muttersprache.
But you've had great success with that role,
I've
and
been very fortunate. I think it's probably the role I've done more than anything else. I'm not exactly sure, but I've got a feeling I've done around 180.
how many?
180 performances.
180 performances as well.
Yeah.
Do you still manage to find new things?
Absolutely, that's the joy of that. I don't stop and think, oh, I know it now. There's always something. There's always another layer, whether it's dramatically or musically or scenically, character-wise even, or textually. I do a little bit of Austrian schmäh, Austrian slang, or it's not Hochdeutsch, it's not High German, where most German operas are. And I've always found something new. There's always a colleague, and I'm fortunate enough to do it a lot in Austria and in southern Germany as well, in Munich, that somebody will always say, well, you could say this instead of that, and just it's a way of pronouncing certain words. And I've built up quite a...
Are there still technical challenges with a role like that when you've done it so many times?
There are places where I had to relearn or renegotiate from a vocal point of view, because I've been doing it for so long, and then if things change physiologically or just getting older, and you find, that's easier to do, but actually this passage here is a little more difficult. It's just kind of fine tweaking and readjusting.
And you don't find that boring?
Well, no, that's what keeps it fresh and interesting. The fact that I can add. I don't want to be one of those singers that just kind of says, "Oh, this is the way I do this." I have a very firm idea about his character, so that when people say, "I want you to play him like a country bumpkin or a farm or a peasant," I'm not really that interested, because I think you're kind of cheating the character. I think it's a much more fully fledged, rounded, three-dimensional character, and not a caricature. And I don't like to play him as a caricature. But that apart, I don't find I enjoy. I'm actively seeking out new ways of new things to find about the character. I think that's a positive for me.
Okay, well, I'm being attacked by a wasp, as are you.
Yes, I know.
So I think that's a good point to end the interview. Thank you, Peter, for being so candid and honest, and it's been a real pleasure to speak to you.